now appearing in the building, up in every ear hole from 80-year-olds to the children. You're here to hear about the heroes and the villains, and save yourself some dollars, yen, and euros from the zeros to the millions. This is a lot of class packed into one podcast. They probably ought to have laws passed, but it's too late to stop the onslaught. Raw blast of compacted, bombastic, five-alarm sass. They're talking AVX, way back to Secret Invasion. They're talking flying up high in the sky, down to the feet on the pavement. They're reading the pages of every single one of the summer events. So other than Bendis, you want to be coming to them when you want the Avengers. They're up inside of your environment with flying iron fists, giant-sized Goliaths, and the tiniest super scientists. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest. EMP, literally MP3 TNT. Young, new, mighty, and secretly. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest. EMP, literally MP3 TNT. Young, new, mighty, and secretly. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest.
Welcome to EMBS. EMBS, episode 18, where your boys shoot the breeze for about an hour about everything under the sun except the Avengers and the X-Men. We're recording this on July 1st, 2021, and it will get to your ears in just a few weeks. To get these EMBS episodes as they come out, consider supporting us on Patreon, please. You can go to our page at patreon.com/EMPcast. And I want to say special thanks, shout out to our new Patreon supporter. Do we have one?
Ellipsis.
It's a good code name.
Yeah. No, we don't have one.
My bad. Wasn't
Bobby
that
will read
depressing?
everything on the prompter.
No, you don't understand. It's a tactic. I'm trying to earn a sympathy vote, right?
Yeah, your name could be here.
Your name could be here. Exactly. Bobby won't look like a fool next time. No, nobody's gonna do it. What you guys been up to?
Nothing.
Hot enough for you?
Yeah. Corwin's like a traveling man, just vacation and.
Yeah. Went to DR. Went to DR for.
Are you there now?
No, I got back already. Been back almost a week now, but.
They let you back in.
Yeah, it was like 3 families though, so there was like 14 of us all together. And,
I miss those days.
3 families, 4 kids, and then 2 grandparents even came along. So it was just loads of fun. We didn't have to cook. The hotel was all inclusive, so just got up, ate, went about our way. It was great.
Nice.
Dang. Hotels living in style and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Wow. How many times have you been to the DR?
Oh, that's our first time.
No doubt.
First time.
For those who don't know, Dominican Republic is what we're talking about.
And if you don't know,
Get a clue.
well, I don't know how hot it was there, but it's been really hot in Massachusetts. I mean, like, it's been like 90 degrees and stuff.
Yeah, like the rest of the earth is melting, and like the southeast is just like normal hot.
Like
we
we're
definitely
kind of used to this.
Yeah.
You don't understand. We definitely had a major heat wave.
Yeah, I know. That's like what's it called? I was seeing stuff in the news where like in Portland, Oregon, like the cables for the cable cars like were melting. Like 115 degrees. And like it is like a huge issue because a lot of people up there don't have AC because they never need it.
That's right.
And it is problem.
Yeah. My
But
folks.
you know, climate change is a Chinese hoax. We all know that.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not a thing.
We've been getting rain though. In Florida.
Yeah, it is. It's rained like every day, like just enough, just to make it slightly more uncomfortable to be outside.
Actually, the last couple days we had some pretty cool thunderstorms here. I legit like went out and ran around in the rain at one point, like
Nice.
on some 5-year-old ish.
That's
You're
all right.
you're such a free spirit, Bobby.
I am. I got to get down off of that table.
I sent my kids outside too to do it, so it's all good.
I wonder who will get the reference. Do you know it, Viet?
Uh,
The
it sounds
Darman.
familiar, but
Dharma, you're such a free spirit. Get down off that
Oh.
table.
okay, yeah, the Family Guy thing. Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's a that's a very specific reference.
It really is, and it's like one of those moments that keeps Family Guy like in the running. I can't totally just diss it outright because it has moments like those. I feel like I've outgrown it majoritively, but when people bring it up, I don't immediately start to make fun of them or anything because, yeah, it's got stuff I can.
Oh yeah. I mean, it. I still think it's good, but then after a while, it's just like, hey Lois, remember that time I made that '80s reference?
Yeah.
And then like that's pretty much the entire show.
The contrivity
Yeah,
knows no bounds.
but it was still great for what it was. For
Yep.
sure.
Agreed.
Oh, which actually reminds me about Rick and Morty getting started up.
That's definitely on my list.
Did you guys? That's on your list. Got to be right.
Yeah.
Nimbus.
All I kept seeing was Namor.
Namor, of course. I mean, it was Namor. I was trying to figure out if it was like a direct like diss to Namor somehow. Like, I don't think it was, but I think just kind of like the sort of like absurdity of ocean-based superheroes was kind of on trial. Like, even though there's one at every printing house.
Can you guys hear me?
Like Atlantis still a thing. But hey, you guys ever checked out Mr. Robot?
Oh, of course. It's one of
Yep.
my faves.
Yeah, it's really good. It's still good, by the way. I went back to check, and
I might have stopped. How many seasons are there? Are there 2?
Whoa.
Or 3?
Oh,
there's like 5.
Or even more than that? 5?
Yeah.
Jeez.
4,
I
5.
believe it ended at 5. The 5th one might have been short, but they definitely had 5.
4 seasons.
Oh, okay. I think I like
Is
the
it?
last thing I remember was them bringing down the BD Wong's character or something like that.
Well, that's pretty close to the end.
Okay.
But I mean, even in a sort of like maybe even now more than ever, it sort of like takes on even newer, better connotations in the wake of the Trump presidency.
Right.
Which
Yeah, I
is,
could probably
which
see
is
that.
referenced.
Yeah.
It's like, but not really examined. It takes place, I think, mostly in 2015. So yeah, you're right. It's 4 seasons.
Yeah, like I remember at first it was like Fight Club but hackers, right? Like,
Yeah,
a
once,
while.
once you get past
I mean,
the first big reveal of the
Yeah.
first season.
that was like really fun, but I knew I kind of felt from the outset that they were gonna end up really kind of sticking it to the viewers in the best way possible, because that was really like the first reveal, you know,
Right.
like but and they very much like there's homage to Fight Club very much. There's a sequence with Elliot, and they play it's like a piano solo only, but that Pixies song that's the the last scene of Fight Club when the buildings are falling, and he's like, "Darla, you met me at a very strange point in my life."
I don't think I've caught that.
Yeah, it's in the last episode of season 1 when he's in like Times Square.
I remember, is it Remy Malik? Something
Yeah.
Malik.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, Remy Malik.
he won like
He's amazing.
an award of I don't remember what award, but it was from Mr. Robot. I remember he go like, "Is this real?" Like, I was like, I get it. I get what he was doing there.
Well, he's supposed to be the next Bond villain too, if they ever release that damn last Bond movie, No Time to Die.
Really?
Yeah.
He's gonna be the villain. They're also bringing back Christopher. I can never remember his last name. The guy who was in charge of Spectre's coming back. I'm not sure if he's gonna be a villain or like team up with his brother or whatever.
I need to rewatch Spectre. I didn't like it much. But
I'm not sure if you do.
that bad.
Yeah, it really kind of. I mean, they worked really hard to ruin like a lot of work that was put in for like. There hasn't been a Bond series that sort of like you could take seriously, and not only that, was actually pretty good in quite a while, like really since Connery. And even then, it was kind of like, it just was kind of like almost slapstick in a way. You know what I mean?
I loved Skyfall.
Skyfall. That's what I'm saying. Like Daniel Craig's Bond is, I don't know. It was like definitely a breath of fresh air. Skyfall's great. And I think you should rewatch Casino Royale if you don't like immediately say that you love it, because it's good.
Oh yeah.
And,
oh yeah.
Yeah. The second one is sort of like
Quantum of Solace.
not quite it. Yeah, it's sort of problematic because the title's hard to say and the plot is hard to sort of like decipher, like in a weird, strangely like reflective turn of events. But it's pretty good at all things like considered. What like at the end of the movie, there's nothing really about it that's bad, and taken in the sequence of the other ones, it does serve to move the story along in ways that you maybe like couldn't have known at the time. So I don't know. I've really enjoyed this Bond series, and I just felt like it was just such a letdown it was really hokey to the way that I think they were going for kind of a throwback thing, but it just didn't work for me.
Okay. Well,
There's definitely sequences of Spectre that are great though. Dave Bautista's really good in it.
I'll have to give it a rewatch. What you got, Viet?
Let's see. What should we talk about? Should we talk about Sweet Tooth?
Let's talk about Sweet Tooth. It's on my list.
Yeah, Sweet Tooth. It was up on Netflix, and it's a Jeff Lemire book on Image, right?
Oh, no kidding.
No, it's a Vertigo book.
Vertigo.
Yeah. So that was on Netflix, and I never read the book, but but the show is pretty great. Like the characters are very likable, and it kind of tugs at your heartstrings a good amount of times.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. And but yeah, it takes place in a sort of like a post-apocalyptic world, where there's like a sickness and tons of people are getting sick, but at the same time there's this batch of children that were born
Turn
with
into deers.
that were born with animal just with animal features, and and it just kind of Sweet Tooth is just this one kid uh that that gets taken away and just kind of living out in the woods with this one guy, like who he says is who's his dad, and I guess the story just kind of uh develops from there.
Hmm?
Oh, they don't all have antlers.
No.
No,
Oh.
all different kind
So
of animals.
there's like mole people, there's a pig girl, there's all kinds of different animal type. Some more some kids have more features than the others.
Yeah.
I see. I have not partaken.
Yeah, I won't delve into it more with because it'd be like spoilery, but it was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot.
They leave you at a cliffhanger, a bit of a cliffhanger for the end of the first season, but you know, second season better be coming. Better be coming.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right. That's a reco.
But it was pretty good. Where I guess Jeff Lemire, like, he got to like how it started and how it ended kind of meme that he did, like with the Twitter post, and it was like how it started, and it was just like a rejection email. It was like no one wants to watch a show with a kid with antlers or something like that.
Yeah.
Then you see the
And
picture of it, like, you know, being like in the top 10 like most viewed on Netflix. You know.
And
gotta
actually,
hand it to those folks. Like, sorry,
go ahead.
Corwin. Just to say that I don't know, Netflix really by and large. I mean, I guess like volume is part of it, right? Like they put out a ton of content, but there's a ton of like really worthwhile content. Um, so much so that like it's hard to keep up.
I think Robert Downey Jr. helped executive produce the show too.
Nice.
That's good pedigree.
All right, so I'll take Sweet Tooth off my list. What was the show we were all supposed to watch and talk about next time we came on?
Just thinking that.
I kind of
What
forgot
was it
what it
again?
was.
Um,
I bet it was Warrior. No,
Oh,
was it?
Always Warrior. No. Yeah. Go ahead, Corin.
I don't remember what it was. All right, well, we'll have to listen to the last episode to go forward.
This is like you're not gonna talk about Loki. That's what you were
Oh,
doing. You're just
yes.
being dumb.
No, it wasn't Loki. I really forgot. I really forgot. It was Loki.
I mean, no, I don't know what
I don't.
we said last episode.
I
I
don't
think there was something else we and it probably is on the show, so I'm gonna check it in a second.
check it, but yeah, let's talk about Loki because you know, I was a little
Yeah, how about
concerned.
Loki?
Go ahead, Bobby.
Concerned? No, I just was kind of being your hype man.
Oh, I mean, coming into it, we just didn't know what to expect with Loki. Um, WandaVision was just way out there, and it was fantastic. I loved it. Falcon and Winter Soldier was a bit more down to earth and the casual kind of superhero stuff. So with this one, I was just like, oh, okay. Wonder which way they're gonna take. And honestly, we're what 4 episodes in,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and it's varying in that WandaVision kind of experimental kind of wild craziness, and I'm really enjoying it, especially the Sylvie character. I am loving her. She plays very well off Tom. And I won't spoil the characters, but they vibe really well together on that show.
Yeah, I think to that point, like I had kind of mentioned earlier when we were talking about recording tonight, I just find it really kind of interesting how within the MCU, the staff, the writers and producers and everyone have been able to take a character like Loki, who, was the villain in Thor way back when. I mean, I guess Thor wasn't the first movie of the MCU. It was Iron Man, probably, right? Maybe even technically Hulk, but Thor was the second or third, and that means it was before Avengers, so it's at least been 10 years. Loki, he's one of the oldest villains in the MCU at this point, is my point. And
Iron Man was first, and then
yeah,
Hulk.
I think Hulk came out first, but because they were still like a Paramount company at the time, that's why they count Iron Man first. Am I wrong? I'm not gonna argue that point. That would be so nerd-tastic.
No, Iron Man was the first. Iron Man was definitely the first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, no doubt. So yeah, but just here we are with a Loki show, which maybe shouldn't be all that exciting, and I know I was excited, and partially because of what I know of the character in the comics, but the way that comic book writers and creators are able to take characters and over again, refresh them. I mean, there's certainly times when it feels like they're going back to the well and we're on Groundhog's Day, but more often than not, we're getting stuff that's fun and just new, with characters who have been fighting each other in some cases for more than 75 years, like Batman and the Joker, and it's cool to see them able to do that, like to recreate that within the MCU. I just think that's worth mentioning.
I noticed I saw that via Twitter, and I had to look myself, but there's a run of She-Hulk where Dan Slott wrote, and that had the TVA in it.
Oh,
And
they originate from old school Thor. Big old.
right, yeah, they started in the 80s, but I was just like, oh yeah, the TVA. I remember, and I was like looking back at the storyline, and it was pretty cool. So it was sort of like She-Hulk was running like the superhero super villain like law firm in that
Right.
in that part of the story, and this was around the time where Hawkeye died, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the TVA grabbed people from a previous time to be the jurors on their trials, right?
Wow.
But they got Hawkeye as a juror, and then She-Hulk set like try to make sure he was on the jury, and then she was like gave him a note so like maybe he'd survive, and
Pulled him
then
back.
she ended up messing up the time stream and having to go to court with the TVA, and the TVA look ridiculous. Like they look like a patriotic like Judge Dredd suits. They're pretty interesting.
Well, here's some good tidbits for you. The the leader that we're seeing so far, what's her name, Ravana,
Mm-hmm.
Ravana, is the beloved of a one Kang the Conqueror.
Mm.
Yeah, I to that ideology, I think that while the feel so far is very much in that like WandaVision, um, zany sort of out there-ness, I have a feeling that it's kind of a bait and switch, and that what's really going to be behind it. I mean, it seems like obviously this is what they're working towards, is Kang. And God bless him, because that's gonna be one, like, telling Kang's story is gonna be, given what I know that they're trying to do, and putting the Young Avengers together and bringing in Kang, which means Iron Lad and what's his name, Immortus, I think, all the characters that Kang represents.
I mean, if they go that route, they don't necessarily have to.
They don't have to, but they rarely shy away from things like that. You know what I mean? Like, you're certainly right. They don't have to, but I think we'll see some type of version of a Kang who inhabits the timeline in many places, I would imagine.
I guess their easy scapegoat to get out of all of this is the fact that all of them are variants.
Right.
They can just completely say, like, nope, that's just a name. You're just thinking way too much into it, just like our boy Quicksilver.
That was pretty crazy, pulling X-Men Quicksilver in.
Right.
Well,
to WandaVision.
What I love too is that they really show Loki's progression here. They get to the heart of him in a lot of different ways, and even like when he found out what happened to his mother and stuff like that, you can feel the change in him and how real it is in his emotions, and how they've done their best to really convert him over to a bit of a hero, even though this is the one straight from Avengers, so there's a lot of things that he hasn't experienced firsthand. But when he saw it on the screens and replayed it for his life, it kind of affected him the same way.
Well, and and true to form, like, they take everything that happens seriously, and it's noted, and it's part of the story, forevermore. I didn't realize in that sequence when Loki in Thor 2, rather, when Loki like tells the Dark Elves which path to take. I never even put that together on my own, that essentially he killed his own mother.
I don't even think he realized he did it.
No, he definitely didn't until then. I don't know if either of you guys remembered noticing that in the film at the time. I did not.
Yeah, he was hurt when he found out she died.
Yeah. And yeah, like I love the way I'm so happy that we have the MCU in our lives. I love the way it continues to unfold. They've really very rarely outright disappointed me.
Agreed. Oh, I think we were gonna talk about Mortal Kombat and King Kong.
I think it was Mortal Kombat and King Kong, which I'm sure.
And I actually did watch those.
Finally. Okay. What about you, Bobby?
Yeah, I've seen them
past weekend.
Oh, all right. We all on the same page.
Look at that.
Can I take King Kong?
Kong? Which one? Kong versus Godzilla?
Is that Godzilla? The one where they fall through the middle of the earth?
Godzilla. Yep. Godzilla versus
Hollow Earth or something
Enough
like that.
Said. Yeah, I really liked the first two Godzilla movies, and I saw the Skull Island movie, I think it was called, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was not bad. And I just thought with the Hollow Earth thing, just really, I could not suspend disbelief. It didn't work for me.
Yeah, like outside of like the actual monster fighting part was cool. But yeah, everything outside of that was like a little ridiculous. But
yeah, it was just tough.
I'm just glad Godzilla finally won a fight, because the first time they fought, I really didn't like. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the original '70s one. I was like, they couldn't. There's no way Kong could take Godzilla. But the fights in this was great. The special effects were great. I think King of the Monsters might have edged it out a little bit for me because I'm just that kind of kaiju person. But
King of the Monsters is a really good flick.
yeah, yeah, I liked it though. I still think Kong versus Godzilla was solid and good.
Yeah, I still enjoyed it. Like the like you go there, like you watch it for the monster stuff, right? Like
Sure.
you're not watching it for the humans and all
No,
that
you're
other
you're
BS.
right. You're right. And they do have that. They've got that down. The sort of like the beasts like fighting in a city, and giving you that sense of like, oh man, this is crazy. Like you do you are able to suspend disbelief. You know when you. It's kind of funny for me to say that. Like I couldn't suspend disbelief about the Hollow Earth. You know, like Godzilla, the giant lizard and the giant monkey
Right.
should have fought somewhere more realistic.
Yeah, exactly.
like in the Hollow Moon.
Yeah, it's just like where did King Kong learn how to use an axe that way? He has no martial
Right,
arts.
right. My
Oh.
my picking and choosing of my ridiculousness leaves something to be called out, I suppose. Um, but yeah, it's good popcorny fun for sure.
Yeah, agree. And I also watched that after Mortal Kombat, so it was also added bonus.
You like? Did you do a ridiculousness double feature?
I watched Godzilla, or I watched Mortal Kombat and then Godzilla the next day.
No doubt. That's that tracks.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go with Mortal Kombat.
Go for it.
So I really hate Cole. Cole is just such a terrible character.
Ugh.
Like,
Yeah.
just like, I don't care.
Like
I don't
why?
care
Yeah.
about this guy. Like, who the fuck is Cole?
it was. It's like it always was. It's all about the ninjas. That's my favorite part of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
Always
right.
has been. Always
And
will
look,
be.
I get it, right? Scorpion's Revenge already came out, so we need to do something a little different, And like, and the whole thing of them getting their powers, like everybody outside of Cole was actually pretty good.
Like, but Cole's not even like a character, right? Like,
No,
he's
not
not
that I
from the.
know of.
I don't play those games, but he's not in any of the games, right? They were like essentially trying to introduce sympathetic character, like human element to the Mortal
Right?
Kombat experience.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
then
no need.
yeah, and then you're gonna give him his power, and you're gonna give him like Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern armor, and and then he, of all the things, he takes out like sticks.
Yeah, tonfas, right?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
just like, why?
yeah.
It just seemed, like Cole is the Netflix Iron Fist of Mortal
Well,
Kombat.
I mean, he could fight though. I'll give him that. That his
No,
moves and stuff
and
look
that's
good.
that's
But
the thing. Like the actor
Oh
is
my
cool,
god, I
and
forgot about
like,
the armor. You're
yeah,
so right. That was
like
so
the
crappy.
the actor is cool. Like Louis Tan is a good character. Like he's awesome. He's pretty awesome in Into the Badlands, right? Like I like the character. I like the actor, but this character just so unlikable.
Yeah. I mean, he just felt so out of place the whole time, like, and I'd never understood for like, a game like Mortal Kombat comes out. The idea is literally to be as shocking as possible. At the time, like there hadn't been like real bloodshed in a game that seemed so realistic before. Remember, you guys must remember, like when you could get it for Sega first, but it only had like water, like sweat spilling off, and then you had to put in the code see the blood on the Sega Genesis, but then Super Nintendo had it. You guys, you know what I'm talking about, right?
For the most part, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just don't see the need to try to like frame Mortal Kombat as like this hero's journey situation. Like, why, like you said, Corwin, why can't the ninjas just fuck each other up? Like,
Right. Well, I mean,
call it
that,
what
like,
it is.
I mean, that's what it was, really. Like, and that's what forget the actors, but like everyone has seen those actors. But that played Scorpion and Sub-Zero, they were badass and they were
Yes.
great. I mean, even
Yeah.
Jimmy Olsen as Jax. um, or James Olsen. Sorry,
James Olsen.
he's James Olsen on Supergirl.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, like all the characters outside of Cole were good. I thought, like we got Cabal. That's different.
Yeah, that was, and the way that they had made Cabal, he was like a hick kind of.
Yeah.
That was
Exactly.
pretty funny.
Exactly. Like everything outside of Cole, like it was actually pretty good.
Good.
And then so it's sort of like Defenders, right? You take everything outside of Iron Fist, it's good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's just it's unfortunate that Cole and Iron Fist were the center of the stories.
Yeah, I guess every once in a while, like it's funny, right? Like I did have to make sure I said that the MCU rarely disappoints, and I suppose technically the Defenders are outside the MCU. Um, Once in a while, I guess the Hollywood like propaganda machine, it just rolls too fast and too hard. Like they're like, no, we're too big to fail. Like we're doing this,
I really
even
thought
though
you were gonna
they
say.
know it's not going to work. Like,
I really thought you were gonna say Too Fast, Too Furious there, but go ahead. I was expecting it. I really was.
Yep.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
But yeah. So I finally watched those.
When you said that Scorpion's Revenge came out, are you talking about the cartoon?
The animated feature, yep.
It was good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Oh, yeah, I dug it.
And they're making another one.
Yeah, and like I said, like that just came out, so like I can see why they didn't make a. Although it would be cool to see like a live action version of that, but I can see why they didn't do that, right? But like,
Yeah,
you
but
could
you
have
know
easily
there's
made
no-
Cole. You could have easily just put Johnny Cage instead of Cole Young, and that would have been
Yes.
fine. I think.
I agree 100%. And I thought that's who he was going to be at first, since he was literally doing like a pit fighting thing in the beginning of the. Anyways, what was I? Hold on, don't let me lose this. I was trying to say that. Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah. So they did the Scorpion backstory, but I don't think. I don't think there's that much like correlation between, a box. Well, in this year being what it was, like a box office release normally, like Mortal Kombat, should draw more clientele than the people who would definitely have seen the anime that like preceded it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I would imagine that wouldn't keep them from retelling the story. Although, it's hard to know. Hard to know. But it was a good anime. And did you say they're making another one, Corwin?
Yeah, they're making another Mortal Kombat anime similar to that. I'm not sure who the character is though.
I could have sworn I was like surfing on my HBO Max app the other day, and I thought that it said something about like a Mortal Kombat, like something about episodes of a Mortal Kombat show. Maybe it was just like
There's like
shorts or
there was
something.
like they were like
Online
they were like on YouTube there were like some fan made like very professional like fan made
Oh yeah.
like little like shorts that were really good. I forgot what they were. I forgot what it was called though.
Remember when they did the the Power Rangers thing with Dawson as Power Ranger?
What?
James Vanderbeek. You ever see that?
No, I don't remember. I don't know what you're talking
Yo,
about.
you should look it up. It's like a fan film, like Power Rangers movie preview that's like really dark and gnarly. And the
Oh yeah. Okay,
Black,
yeah, I
Black
remember that.
Ranger was Dawson from Dawson's Creek. This is amazing.
Okay, it wasn't a real thing. It was a fan thing. I think I've seen that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not real, but yeah.
What were your thoughts on Mortal Kombat, Corbin? You haven't chimed in yet.
Yeah, the whole thing I didn't like. It just seemed so watered down, and I can't even call it fan service. It just I don't know if I should call it even kiddifying it, but it didn't click. It didn't work for me. I love the Scorpion and Sub-Zero stuff, of course. Even some of the other battles were cool. Kano was just great. He just had me rolling the whole damn movie.
Yeah, Kano was really
It's
good.
pretty good.
Who's the guy with the sledgehammer? Like the gore, like regular gore, like Goro's like stepbrother or something. That's what he
Shitaro,
looked like.
right? Or is that the not Shitaro?
No, I don't remember.
I don't know. Like he seemed like a new character. I don't think he was. But I mean, Kung Lao was in there. Kung Lao was pretty cool.
And they killed him, bastards.
Yeah.
What do you play every Mortal Kombat game via? You don't know if he's a new character.
Yeah, I don't. But like I've watched people play MK11 and I haven't seen those.
Oh, really?
No
doubt.
So yeah, I don't know the guy with the sledgehammer. I want to say the demon looking girl. I think she might be a character.
Katana or Melina?
The
flying
one with
one,
the
like the
wings. Yeah, the
teeth.
one that Kung Lao killed with the buzzsaw thing.
Oh, no, I don't remember.
Certainly
she's
seemed like a
actually
real
a
character.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things, and it was just, and you can't help but like compare it to like I still have nostalgic love for
Oh, hell yeah.
the Mortal Kombat movies. I'm just like, yo, you ain't Shang Tsung.
I gotta say, like, it used to be like smoke weed and watch Friday and then Mortal Kombat and fall asleep somewhere, in the second scene of Mortal Kombat. And like that was that was how like Saturday night would usually end up every
What's the
weekend
name
of the
that
summer,
actor?
you know what I mean?
Um,
Back in the day, and definitely took me back to the good old days for sure. Which actor?
the guy that played Shang Tsung in the '90s movie.
Oh,
Kerry Hiroyuki Tagawa.
Oh, it was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. But yeah, like the
But he's
pretty much
recognizable.
the standard Asian villain in every movie back in the '90s.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like this is like the other guy. Yeah, the guy in this newest version is just like, your soul is mine. I was like, you don't even mean it.
you don't even mean it.
Like your heart isn't in it.
Yeah, right. Call your coach.
Put your
Yeah.
chest into it. All right, Bobby, back to you. Go ahead. Let's reset the order now. And what else you been watching? Or have you watched?
Well, you didn't go, Corin.
Oh, I thought the whole Godzilla. I did Loki, then we jumped to Godzilla and Mortal Kombat.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Well, after our last conversation, you guys really got me thinking a bit about my past, about where I come from, where I'm going, and just who I am and where I fit in the Star Wars universe. And so I decided to kind of take another run at Clone Wars, which I I guess I started watching Clone Wars with the movie, like way back when, and the cartoon movie, you know,
That's what launched the
and
series.
yeah, which launched the series, and boy, it really does do a disservice to where the whole thing winds up going, which I think is sort of well known by the fan base, and I've always heard that was the case, but I guess I just didn't. I don't know. I didn't. There was definitely a bunch of stuff I hadn't seen and that I thought I'd seen, and I just really never thought I could care about Ahsoka, and that changed certainly with the Mandalorian, and seeing her like as a human character, but like when she showed up I really liked Rebels, and when she showed up in Rebels, I was kind of annoyed. And man, I really care about Ahsoka, and like even crazier than that, I actually care about Cody and no, well, Rex, I guess, probably the most. I still don't care about the Bad Batch, but the Clone Wars definitely had a story to tell, and I think as they went along, they fixed things that weren't working.
Yep.
Ahsoka really really had a character arc that I don't think was necessarily how she was written. I think they made changes because it wasn't being received well, but that was really smart. And
So
boy, the
you
last
finished it.
episode of I did. The last episode of season 7, I almost cried. I'm dead ass, dude. I don't
Yes.
remember ever feeling that way watching a cartoon. You know, like it was really it's heartbreaking. And I guess like it obviously has to go there, but the way they chose to tell that story was just man.
Or even
Yeah, like Clone Wars was good, but like some of those episodes were like a chore.
Yeah, that is the thing. It's like there's a little too much of a what do they call that? Like the format is um like not pant. What's that word? I can't think of it. Um like where it's like a compendium. It's a bunch of different stories that they're telling together. I'll think of the word. Anyway,
Anthology?
thank you.
anthology.
Yeah, anthology. An analogy is something else. But when it skips around, it does a little bit of a disservice to the story. They at a certain point they focused enough, like the focus narrowed enough that it works. In the beginning, I think it was kind of all over the place, and I don't know if they knew from day one how exactly they were going to wind things down. If they did, then kudos. My feeling is that there was a response from the production crew to the way that the show was received, and that's kind of a cool thing, you know. It's probably tough as an artist to make changes, like, you know, to hear that people don't like the thing that you're working hard on, but to be able to take that as constructive criticism is, you know, you got to give credit where it's due.
Well, Clone
Yeah,
Wars
go on.
was actually canceled prematurely because when I
Right.
think it was Lucasfilm had sold to Disney, they had to stop the show.
Right. And the way I've heard it told is that the feeling was season 5 ended, Lucas signed the deal. It's crazy to think about this now, that the $4 billion, $4+ billion sale of Lucasfilms is like a a paltry sum compared to what Disney paid for Fox, like some like 30 or 40 billion or something like that.
Yeah, but you're talking one franchise compared to a whole library.
Yeah, I know. But and then they were presenting season 6 as somehow like bonus material, but season 6 is very much story. I'm not sure why it was presented that way. And I know that season 7 only just showed up with Disney Plus, so that
Yes.
would have been. I mean, I it's so funny because I feel like I had kept up with the series, maybe not like followed it closely, but I really didn't. I think I paid it like really just the loosest of like on in the background when I was working on things type of viewing, and thought I had done a better job of checking it out, but I got a lot watching it and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, like I would tell people that you have to get through the like, nah, man, like Jar Jar's for real, like he's real cool, y'all. There's a lot of those episodes in the first season. You're just like, no, for real, he's so cool. Didn't you see when he did this? No,
What
man.
you're talking about, that's what frustrates me, because it creates a situation where you have to defend Star Wars to naysayers, and I hate feeling that way. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
But I also have to, I guess, accept the fact that Star Wars content that's created at this point, and really from here on out, is just not being made for me. And that's like for the best, like I hope that generations and generations will continue to get what I got out of Star Wars. I mean, it was my thing, man. I'll tell you. I when I was little, I remember when the Star Wars radio drama was being aired on NPR every Sunday night. I would listen to it. I would like sit on my couch and I would listen to it with like big headphones. I mean, I was little. I was like 4 or 5 or something. And I would sit there for like these half-hour and 40-minute episodes with my eyes closed the whole time, and like just like imagine. It's really good. You should, if you ever get the chance, you should look into it. It's got a lot of the original actors. Mark Hamill's in it. So much sort of expanded story, and it just was like every Sunday night. That's what I did. It was kind of like, I don't know. Other families watch like I don't know what they watch on Sunday night, but that's what I did. And that was kind of like Star Wars was with me from the start, and like kind of always has been. And so it's really important to me to see that Star Wars does well, and it's just like a really great time to be a Star Wars fan right now. I feel really lucky to be watching what they're doing right now. Hope they keep knocking it out of the park.
Agreed.
But are you guys how are you guys feeling about the Bad Batch now? Because I still feel that with all that said about the Clone Wars, I hold to kind of my point that my feeling is that unless there's really important information they feel they have to convey that's somehow going to get them, I guess, to the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
I think even more than that. I think it's gonna connect back to Boba Fett if you're caught up. I don't know if we want to.
I am. No, I am, and I understand that that Fett and Mace Windu have a reckoning, apparently,
Fett
to
and
come.
Mace. Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Oh, so what are you talking? Are you talking about Darth Maul or Maul somehow?
No. Maul
impacting the Fett
was
story?
no. Maul was a Clone Wars and Rebels kind of thing. I'm talking about Omega.
Oh, I see.
Have you
Um,
caught up to where they reveal who she is?
yeah, she's like basically Boba's sister
Yeah, pretty much.
to some extent.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I guess that's not relevant to me.
Well,
Even as much as I care about Boba Fett, and I do, um, this is exactly why I don't. I want them to stop. I want like there's no need for this. Like there's just not. Like Boba Fett's got plenty to do. um, and like we as like you said that Maul was
no,
Rebels and Maul's coming back.
his story was done in Rebels. Yeah,
Maul's coming back.
Obi-Wan's gonna be taking it back as well. It's not gonna be current times.
Yeah. I we're gonna see Maul. And I mean the Dark Sun, I think I have a feeling that we might see Kira again in maybe in the Obi-Wan series. I guess there's starting to be a groundswell
Who?
thing for make Solo 2 happen.
Who we talking about?
Solo's first girlfriend,
Oh, Kira. Okay, got you. Yes,
who it's revealed in the end of Solo that she works for Maul.
true.
So, um, shoot, I don't know. Dave Filoni and John Favreau have my blessing. That's all I know. I guess I got to just trust that they know what they're doing.
Uh, I don't 100% love Bad Batch right now. Like I enjoy it, but it feels like it's getting a little stagnant at the moment.
Yeah.
But I still like the characters, and like so I'm willing to keep going with it.
Yeah. They're okay. That I forgot as well that the first episode of season 7 was about the Bad Batch.
Right.
They kind of like look better there than they ever do, as far as I can, as they ever have so far in the show.
Yeah. I really love that episode, and that's
It's
why
a good episode.
I was pretty excited that they're getting their own series.
Yeah, that makes sense.
By the end of it all, I don't think they're gonna make it out. I don't think
Probably
they're
not.
You know what? If that's what they do, I'll be impressed, and then it'll be okay. You know what I mean? It'll be kind of contained, and that'll be that. It'll be time to kind of like tell some other stories. That's my concern.
They'll build up Omega. That'll be her backstory and her story for whatever they're gonna do with her after.
And that's okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like anti Omega. It's just not to me. It's not like something I'm super curious about. But it's fine. Um, the fact that Ahsoka has already shown up in the live action and Bo-Katan, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They really. Every time I stop to think about how the Mandalorian went, like I had to like sit down and catch my breath. It just was so good. The way that they were able to make all that work, that seamless transition from cartoon to reality, is really to be, I think, commended.
All right.
One last thing, but I forgot it, so we'll let it go. Oh wait! No, this is it. Have you heard this? That supposedly there's a bunch of like revisiting original trilogy type content coming, and they're recasting Luke, and the person who might get the nod is the Winter Soldier.
Well, I mean, he's a dead ringer for Luke for sure.
Yeah, yeah. If they don't get Sebastian Stan, that they'd be out of their damn minds.
I mean, for sure. Especially with the Mandalorian, I thought that was gonna be him, but they CGI'd it up instead. But I don't think I'd be upset, but I think
I'm cool with it.
I don't want too much. I don't think they should mess with the trilogies. If they want to do things in between the stuff, I'm cool. But I want to see new stuff past it. I wanted them to finish with whatever's
Yeah,
going on
agreed.
post episode 8 or 9.
I'm not too thrilled about revisiting the era for the same reasons I've already talked about. But if they're gonna do it, I suppose if they take the time and cast some Oscar winners or whatever they give people who make movies and television, that would be cool. That'd be cool. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
All right, who is it? Me?
Sure.
Let's see. We talked a little bit about this one. Kim's Convenience. It is a comedy that is on Netflix. I don't remember where it originally aired. However, this may be.
It's a Canadian sitcom.
It is a Canadian sitcom. It may be the first. Is this where Sam Liu got his big break?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is where Shang-Chi.
This is the guy like he got his break here, and then now he's gonna be Shang-Chi. So that's pretty cool.
And it's basically
and Appa, like the dad on that show, right, on Kim's Convenience, is the X-wing pilot in Mandalorian.
I
You
didn't
know
even
that
know
Asian guy? Yeah, that's him. Just like, yeah, you know the chubby guy that saved Mando from the spider thing. Yeah, that's the dad on Kim's Convenience.
Huh.
And he's like a huge nerd too, so so it's just like he was probably like going, yeah. So
yeah, he's digging it. Yeah.
This past month I watched like all of it. All of Kim's Convenience pretty much, because this was just like this little blind spot that I never watched, and I don't know why, but I mean, it's nothing like incredibly groundbreaking, right? It's a sitcom,
Yeah.
But it's all of the characters are super likable, and it's good. Like, it's a good background show, right? And like, there's a lot of funny moments, and the fact that it's like almost all Asian cast and things like that is representation and all that good stuff.
You're into that? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend like if like it's a good sitcom, right?
Which, let's be honest, is a rarity.
Right. Like,
So,
I would probably, I don't know, like, did you ever watch Scrubs? Like, did you like Scrubs or any of those type of sitcoms?
I would call Scrubs. It's definitely work on some other thing type material, but on the high end of that.
Right. Yeah. Like, so it's
Work on a project and have that on in the background. But,
right. And Kim's Convenience is like that, right? Like all the characters like kind of have even like there's a lot of quirky characters, and they're all like pretty much lovable. Like, and that's what makes it a lot of fun.
maybe not set your DVR, but you definitely don't turn it off.
Right. Unfortunately, it's over. Like, they're not making any more, and hearing the
figure of speech.
yeah, and hearing the news of like the actors, like especially I don't know how to say his name, Samuel Liu.
Mm-hmm.
Like he like a lot of the actors were having issue with like the main producer was Asian, was Korean specifically, and he left the show, and they never really, there wasn't any Asian representation in the writers' room and producers and in the higher ups, and they didn't like at the end of the season they weren't they weren't happy with the direction that it was going, and like they kind of abruptly, like the season, like the way the season ended like a season finale, but it wasn't like a show finale, and they just kind of were they were kind of blindsided, like, hey, there's not a season 6, by the way.
Okay, yeah, it's season finale, but they weren't necessarily like they didn't know at that moment they weren't coming back.
Right. Yeah, they were actually thinking there was a season 6.
Right. Things kind of went really sideways after that.
Yeah. And so like it kind of ended on a bad note, but I think it's still worth watching.
No doubt.
Despite that.
And I don't generally do comedies, so that says a lot. I mean, besides Bob Hart's Abishola, I don't really watch much comedy, so that says a lot there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Which one did you say? Besides which one?
Bob Hart's Abishola.
Oh.
You've never heard of that?
No.
Nearby.
What?
What is it?
All right, so basically it's about this guy named Bob. He owns a sock company, and he ends up having a heart attack. He goes to the hospital. He gets some kind of triple bypass, but his nurse is this Nigerian nurse called Abishola. And basically it's just a story of these two falling for each other in just, completely different worlds, with her being from Africa and him being from here, and how they make their relationship work. It is a great show. It's ridiculous, ridiculously funny. It's actually, what's his name? Chuck Lorre, I think, is behind it as well, if I'm not mistaken. That. So yeah, Bob Hart's Abishola. It's great. There's 2 seasons of it. Very much comedy family show. Great characters. I mean, his mother is I think majority of the actors on that show are like comedic actors.
I'll leave you to type that in the
show. I guess we'll have to deal. We're gonna have to sort of stomach the idea that Corwin will be presenting some family-friendly content in the days and weeks and years to come, since he is in a family.
It comes with having kids, yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm making fun of me more than you.
The mother.
All right.
Go ahead, Viet.
Viet, you up?
Okay. What did I watch? Recently? I guess we can talk about Luca. Luca's a Pixar movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Only caught the
ending of another sticking with the family friendly content. Yeah, Pixar was a lot of fun. Or Luca was a lot of fun. It's a Pixar movie on Disney Plus, and it's about some like kids that are sea creatures, but when they go out of the water, they're humans, and it like kind of takes place in in Italy, and just it's one of those things where like the description will never work, but like it's just a Disney movie and it's Pixar, so you're just like, oh my god, how is this so great? You're just like,
you bring up a point I've thought about like on many occasions, like how do people who are trying to pitch a cartoon, like especially like a feature length cartoon, it must be one of the hardest jobs.
Yeah, right. Like I mean and you have to not only sell them with something weird, like you have to be like, okay, cool.
At the end, it's a cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah, just like, can you imagine? It's like, okay, here's this old guy. His wife dies. Then he gets a bunch of balloons and floats his house. on adventures. You're like, what?
He kidnaps a little boy, and it's not a horror movie. Like,
Right, just like
He
what?
said it's not a horror movie.
yeah, totally. Very, very.
And it kind
We
of
tip our hats to those of you whose job that is.
yeah, and sort of bring like not really knowing much about the TVA, kind of going back to Loki, like that whole part where he's going through the TVA like felt like a Pixar movie, right? Like, was that just me? Or just like they always have that one scene, where they're kind of going through like the weird organization, sort of like the Monsters Inc. type of
Yeah, it's
situation.
almost a montage.
Yeah,
Thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting way to describe it. I know what you mean. That's not how I would have said it, but that's definitely a big part of the feel of the Loki show, right? Is
Right.
the zaniness of the TVA. Were you guys like thrown by the most recent twist? I won't give it away. Well, I guess I can because when this comes out, everyone will have seen it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That the time lizards are not lizards nor time.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. Turns out it's Chuck E. Cheese in there.
Yeah.
Time Lords are animatronic.
I made a Wizard of Oz reference, and my kids didn't quite get it.
That's exactly what the first thing that came into my head, and then the second thing that came into my head was, boy, there's nothing new under the sun, and not in a bad way, but like that idea of like there's really only like 5 stories or something.
Yep.
Like it wasn't a bad twist; it's a good one, but.
And the credit scene.
No, not the credit scene. The
right.
Yeah, but that was interesting too. And certainly welcome as far as like my interpretation of who Loki is in the comics. The last 10 years.
So I don't know if you guys are gonna know these actors, but from Bob Hart's Abishola, Barb Goodell is the main character. You guys are familiar with him. There's a dude named Matt Jones is on there. The mom of Bob is Christine Ebersole.
I'm gonna just look at it on IMDb. I think.
Yeah, look at the actors on there. You'll recognize some of them.
Recognize more, yeah.
From the looks, but we will keep this family-friendly train going, and I am going to. Well, actually, it's Bobby's turn.
I was gonna say, you guys ever gonna let me go?
I was like, oh yeah, Billy Gardell. Okay.
Did we technically already talk about Rick and Morty?
Yes, but you want to go back to it? You made mention at the beginning, and then you jumped to Mr. Robot.
Well, there was two episodes. Have you guys seen the second episode yet?
Yes.
I guess I just wanted to say that as episodes of Rick and Morty go, the second one was a little bit generic.
Long in tooth.
Long in tooth. Well, nothing new under the sun, right?
Yeah, literally. It got crazy, like just crazy. Well,
and then then there's like a giant head over everything at the end. I just feel like that's happened a lot of times. But I didn't want to talk about that. I watched a movie actually yesterday called The King of Staten Island.
I know of it.
You know of it?
Yeah, I haven't watched it though.
I did not know who Pete Davidson was because I've never been a Saturday Night Live guy. Mm-hmm. But it's okay. It's sort of like it's like what was that movie called? Oh, with the guy from Clerks, Garden State, right? Kind of like Garden State for millennials, I guess. But it's semi-autobiographical. And the main character that Pete Davidson plays. It stars Pete Davidson opposite Bill Burr, kind of, who's the he was in Mandalorian. He's the ex stormtrooper that was on the heist, and they like made fun of him. He's like, "You were a sharpshooting stormtrooper. I wouldn't brag about that." You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Pete Davidson's dad was a firefighter, and he lost his life in 9/11. And that's the main character's dad was a firefighter who died as well. So it's one of those movies where it's like a comedy, but there's like pretty intense situational narrative
Behind it. Yeah.
It's good. I would recommend it. You know, you want to know that there's other people out there who've got it tough sometimes.
You're not alone, Bobby. You're not alone.
Yeah, don't have too much to say about it. Just good stuff.
All right, so I'm gonna rewind it back again to family friendly. I watched with the family this movie on Netflix called Wish Dragon,
Mm.
where basically it's I guess you can say it's like the Chinese version of the Aladdin story, where he runs across this dragon that grants him wishes, and his main thing is he wants to find his childhood friend who grew up and became famous. So it's this poor boy trying to make his way to college and everything, having this big old plan to try to at least meet and see this girl who he grew up with. Um, Basically to tell her that he loves her and he misses her, and just the craziness that goes along with that, since she's rich and these bad guys are out trying to get the teapot from him where the dragon resides to make wishes. Very heartfelt, very funny. I was surprised at how funny it was. I was laughing a lot with that movie. Um, I definitely recommend it. Wish Dragon. Is it Disney
Alright.
Plus or Netflix? Let me double check that.
I'm not sure.
I think that is. It is Netflix. I put Disney Plus. It's Netflix.
Have we ever talked about Raya in The Last Dragon?
No, I don't think we have. I did see that though.
I have not seen that, but that's okay.
Well,
Yeah,
you want to keep
also-
the family
also
friendly
just-
going? Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Raya the
should've
Last Dragon.
Kept my
Yeah.
damn mouth shut.
But yeah, Raya the Last Dragon was a lot of fun too. Again, just like the animation on there is so good.
And
It's so gorgeous.
the girl that plays the voice of the dragon is
Yeah.
the same one from the crazy,
Yep.
her crazy friend in Crazy Rich Asians. I don't know her name though. You might.
Oh, Aquafina.
Oh, is that who it is? Okay.
Yep.
And she's also
Aquafina is
in.
the name of the dragon, and Rose Tico is the voice of Raya.
So isn't that the same chick that's going to be in Shang-Chi?
In Shang-Chi. Yep.
Okay.
She's making that Disney money.
Sorry, Bobby. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. I was just gonna say, I thought that the preview for that movie looked good. I just haven't seen it yet.
I think it just became became available for free.
That's what I was gonna
pretty
say.
recently.
I was thinking that it was like I wasn't gonna pay $30 or whatever Disney does with their.
I'm probably gonna say I like Wish Dragon a little bit better. It's two different kind of stories. Raya's more action, sword, and fighting. But I'm gonna give.
I can see that.
I'm gonna
Or
inch
I
out.
mean, like I haven't watched Wish Dragon, but I can see that being the case.
Case, yeah, I'm gonna inch it up just a little bit higher. It's definitely got more comedy to it, more heart to it.
As far as paying for a movie that's coming, how you guys feeling about when Black Widow comes, would you pay? Would you pay?
Yeah, I'd pay.
I'd pay to go see it in the theater.
I'm probably going to see it in the theater because the kids aren't going to be here, and it doesn't make sense paying $30 for, just Marsha myself.
Oh, it's gonna be both.
Oh yeah.
Like one of those things. Cool.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Disney's putting it out.
Yeah, like for me, my brother and two of both my sister-in-laws are on my account. So me paying $30 is sort of just like getting a movie for all of them. So, and I'm lazy.
Call your brother. I need $10 from you now.
No, no, I'm just like
Everybody got Cash App these days.
yeah, or I'm just like here's $30. Everybody can watch it.
That's very nice of you, Viet.
Yeah,
cool.
and so, that and I was like, I was like, ugh, I have to go to a movie theater. Ugh.
Dude, like Saturday mornings at like 10 o'clock, at least over here, movie theaters are usually pretty dead.
Still, I'm just like, ugh.
I have to put
to
pants
get
on.
out of the house. Yeah, I have to put on pants.
Well, and plus, then next time there's like an outing that you're supposed to go to, you can be like, I bought the movie before. I'm not going to this, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. With Black Widow, it's sort of like I'm sure it's gonna be great, but like there are people that have kind of said it, and I kind of agree with them. Like it seems like 10 years too late.
Well, yeah. I mean, the problem is it can, even if it does move the plot forward, which is really what it's all about with the MCU, right? It can only serve to do so from like a like expository place, I guess. You know what I mean? Like it can't really tell us something new unless it's to like shed light on something that's already, you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Right.
Well, I mean, they can see things for the Winter Guard or whoever her sister is when they come up next in the Marvel universe or the MCU.
Right. That's sort of what I'm getting at. But if it's literally takes place in the past and the movie's late, so like, and the character's dead, like, or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of like when the character is dead. Can't we just leave them dead then? Like allow them the thing that they're supposed to be. You're supposed to be like regaining their hit points, and by putting them back on the screen, you're stealing their soul energy. You know, like or something. That's not what I wanted to talk about though. I was reminded of something about going to the movie theaters, which is that I went to see, just of my own volition, In the Heights. Just kidding. I went with my mom. Really wanted to see it, and I went with my folks to see that movie. That's like the guy that made Hamilton. This is like
that was his first play.
Yes.
That he wrote.
Yes.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yes, and he has a cameo. It's
a few people that went to go see it. Unfortunately, it underperformed at the box office, I think.
Well, I mean, it's also on HBO Max.
For 30 days, true.
I mean, I think that movie theaters are gonna have a tough road ahead, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I certainly will always want to see certain things in the theater, and there's certain things that I will now never ever pay to go see in the theater.
It's funny too because Black Widow's like, if
Right
I don't go to see it, it'll be the first Marvel movie that I have not seen in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one. Pretty much Marvel movies are the only thing where I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go watch it in the theater.
I don't think I saw Thor.
I'm gonna watch it right when it comes out.
Yeah. I think maybe Thor 2 I didn't see in the theater, but
You chose wisely.
I did choose wisely. I did. Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think that's about it.
Wait, what was
There is one. Oh, go ahead.
what was Bobby's pick? We didn't type it in the notes.
It's called In the Heights, right?
Oh, in the
Yeah, In the
Heights.
Heights. Yeah. I won't. There is an animated show, uh, on Netflix. It's called Trece, I think. That I
Yes.
do want to watch, and it's based off of like a Filipino comic book, and it just looks like a animated, like way gory version
I saw it.
of Buffy,
Um,
and like that, I do want to watch that. That's next on my list to watch.
yeah, you should.
You just reminded me. I never finished Warrior Nun,
Warrior Nun.
even though that was the
Which
live action version.
It's getting a second season.
I gotta finish that. I just lost track of
Did
it.
you ever, Corin? Did you ever talk about Winona Earp? Was
I
that
did. I did not. But
okay?
where are we? Episode 18? Yeah, episode 18. They had maybe a 2 to 2.5 year hiatus between seasons.
Uh,
And it
Yeah.
wasn't because of COVID. They just had some financial issues. So
uh,
yeah, the new season came out. I'll talk about it next episode with this last.
I so I got
First season of that was
commissioned.
good.
Yeah, I got commissioned to make a Winona Earp action figure, and you can go check my YouTube
Yes.
to see me make that, and but or my social medias to make that. But like, the person that posted it, and it got like 200 300 views, or like 200 300 likes and retweets and stuff like that. And you're just like, oh,
Look at
apparently
that.
they're called
Earpers.
Earpers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
we are many.
Who knew?
Yeah.
The groundswell of support for
Yeah, I was just like, huh. And I was like, apparently, yeah, there's like all like 4 seasons of it is on Netflix, and I was like, I should probably watch that too.
Oh, definitely
apparently.
watch it. It's
Well-
actually another comic book series.
Right.
Isn't there also like Vanna Helsing or something?
Van
Like-
Helsing. I think it's just called Helsing, but yes, which is they both started at the same
I
time.
thought that was pretty clever. You guys didn't like that?
Yeah, Helsing. Nice.
They started at the same time. Both are, I think they are.
They look very like unfortunately they like
What's the comic
aesthetically come off very similar, and I feel like the actresses even are like kind of similar looking.
Well, if you watch the show, you'll definitely see the difference in them. But they're off the same. They're from the same company. You know, the Cheesecakey comic book company.
Right.
Huh?
What are they called? The Cheesecake Company. All their stuff is kind of cheesecakey.
They must do like a bunch of stuff on Sci-Fi Channel, right? Like that.
No, comics.
IDW.
No, the thing is, you won't recognize if you actually see the comics. You probably
Is it
wouldn't.
literally called cheese something or?
No,
just
it's not
saying?
literally called, but they all have the '90s bad girl art for their stuff.
Like Aspen.
I don't think it's Aspen.
IDW.
No.
Did you already say that yet? Boom.
Yeah, it's like IDW. Or Boom. Yeah. Anyways,
it'll
while
come.
Corwin's looking for that, we actually had some listener feedback from episode 16 of some of our listeners talking about things that they've been into. James Stubbs writes, since you guys asked, here is what I've been watching, reading, listening to lately. Justice Society, World War II. Damn, as a fan of DC's Golden Age heroes, this is some good shit. They really didn't need to bring in Flash, but I guess they needed something to anchor it to modern characters that people are familiar with.
Wait, what is
still always fun to see a whole bunch of Nazis getting punched in the face.
Animated movie.
Is it new?
Yeah, she came out maybe a month or two ago.
Oh, cool. I gotta check that out.
Okay, so
right.
Winona Earp is IDW, but like Grim Fairy Tales and Van Helsing is from that other company, and I'm gonna find it.
Okay. Okay, I see what you mean now. Yeah, see, I went back and finished watching the rest of the Toys That Made Us. And for some reason, I only watched half of it and got distracted and never came back. The Power of Grayskull on Netflix.
Oh,
And
Zenoscope.
Zenoscope, okay.
Zenoscope. There we go. Sorry.
uh, and then been going through a bunch of nostalgia for 80s and cool toys than I had as a kid. And speaking of the Power of Grayskull, that He-Man trailer looks so
yeah.
Yes.
Now it's really coming, right? Like I felt like the next day after that came out, I thought I saw something that was like Kevin Smith is lying. It's not coming, but I think it was just some clickbait.
Yeah, but it's the same studio that made Castlevania.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Sold.
Totally awesome.
I think.
Sold.
Yeah. So yeah, James also writes, I picked up a copy of Mad Wolf, the complete collection. And I've been enjoying going back and reading a bunch of old Spider-Man issues, but man, they sure as hell couldn't get their story consistent as it jumped from title to title. Still fun, but not as cool as I remember it. I've also been listening to a bunch of audiobooks for my drive to work. Dreamscape Media has been reissuing a bunch of old Marvel novels. Most of it is Spider-Man and X-Men. Surprise, surprise. None of it is anything spectacular, but sure beats listening to what passes for music now on radio.
Yeah.
Very,
Agreed.
very old man of you, James. I love it. Feel the same way. Let's see, and Tommy G, our boy Tommy G, big Patreon supporter too.
Get it.
Answering Corbin's call for EMBS number 16. I just finished Wolf's Rain. That's
With
the
all
anime.
wolf stuff.
Yeah, there's actually wolves in that. Which I would love to hear how much Scott hates it if it was reviewed on Merc with a podcast.
I'll ask about it.
Yeah. Halfway through Shadow and Bone, which I thought was extremely mediocre until episode 6.
Yeah, pretty good.
I mean, it's the normal teenage drama. They do the stupid teenage things and fall for the.
It was really high budget.
But yeah.
I just felt like it was visually pretty excellent.
Oh, and he also mentioned it cut off. Once we're caught up with Shadow and Bone, I'm gonna try to talk my fiance into watching Eureka 7, since she picked Wolf's Rain, but we'll see how that goes.
Eureka 7? Is that an anime?
It sounds familiar.
What is that?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Pretty certain
I
it's
think
an
it is
anime.
Yeah,
But
pretty sure too.
what is it called? What was that show on Sci-Fi Channel with the city?
Yeah, like I think it's just called Eureka.
So okay, that's Eureka. So Eureka 7 is gonna be the anime. It's an anime then.
That show. Remember when Sci-Fi Channel was all about stuff like that? Warehouse 13.
The good stuff, yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of good.
I said to Tommy in our Discord, this is like a lot of anime I watched like in the early 2000s. I know I enjoyed, but I don't remember anything about it.
Yep.
And I was like, I think Wolf's Rain was one of those.
What was that movie?
And yeah, and then Tommy just said to keep those memories pure.
It's funny, dude. When you're trying to like get into anime, you watch so much stuff that just like.
Yeah, it all blurs together. You're just
and later, if you try to watch, it's like, what the hell was I? And I'll remember having said something like really, like endearing about it, and then I'll watch it again, and be like, oh my god, like what was I thinking?
I mean, sometimes it doesn't hold up. Before I forget, Scott did put this out there for the Patreon subscribers. I think he said if we hit 100,000, he will get the elevator scene from Evangelion tattooed on his arm. Or the escalator scene, not elevator, the escalator scene. So I'll put that out there for the listeners.
The escalators
scene from Evangelion. Evangelion, there's
where they like, you mean like the two girls are like not looking at each other? Is it that?
Well, there's a lot of scenes in Evangelion where they literally spend almost like 30 seconds on one scene, and there's just a couple times that people on the escalator just going forever. It's just like some of the longest scenes of the series, so it's kind of a running joke with the escalator scene. But yeah, he said if we hit 100,000 on the Patreon,
$100,000 or
yes.
100,000?
No, $100,000. He will get it tattooed on himself. So
shit, you know I'm gonna be working for that hundo.
So we will see.
That would be great.
But definitely thank you, Tommy G and James Stubbs, for writing in. I love hearing from you guys. Anybody else has suggestions? It doesn't even have to be new shows, as you guys heard. It could be anything that you may want us to mention out there to try to get it out to other people. So, we can.
Doesn't even have to be shows.
Things. That's true.
Yeah, it can be whatever.
That's true.
I made me think that I got back to a podcast I had loved of like maybe 2 years back. It's called Tannis, and it's like a mystery narrative, like presented as though like somebody's doing some exploring into what Tannis is, and is it something that's like maybe represent Atlantis, or is it about an ancient god, or is it like a parallel universe, and is like some shadowy government agency trying to kill this guy while he's making a podcast? I don't know. It doesn't seem likely, but he does have a female assistant that helps him dig up stuff on the internet. It's pretty fun. So, Tannis.
Yeah, like there's some art like Twitch streamers that I hang out with that like during their streams they listen to like one guy listens to the guy's handle is the Great Shono, and he listens to old school like Superman radio shows.
That's cool.
While he's drawing. And then I got another friend, Daniel Hooker Art. He listens to old mystery radio and stuff, and it's like those commercials are some of those commercials you're like, ooh boy.
I have a box set of that Superman stuff. It's pretty tough going.
Yeah, but I mean, just like like some of those things you're just like, ooh, that is inappropriate.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's still pretty fun.
But it does leave you scratching your head a little bit, wondering, oh, so that's how we got here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boys.
Yeah,
let's get out of here.
I think it's time to call it.
Woo! It's a good one.
All right. So yeah, thank you to our Patreon patrons who are getting this now, listening to this now a month ahead of everybody else, and so yeah,
you can be like them.
Yeah, you could be like them. But
all
if
you
not,
have to do is contribute a measly $100,000 a month, and we'll be making episodes dedicated to you and your whole family. I'm clearly getting tired.
So yeah, we appreciate that, and if you didn't, that's fine too. And thank you for listening.
Yeah.
So, earthsmightiestpodcast.com. You can email us emp@earthsmightiestpodcast.com, or you can join our Facebook or Discord channel.
I joined back in Facebook to meet up with you guys because I missed you.
Nice.
All right.
You
boys, don't do anything I wouldn't do. That doesn't leave much, but
Yep. Bye-bye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Now appearing in the building, up in every ear hole from 80-year-olds to the children. You're here to hear about the heroes and the villains, and save yourself some dollars, yen, and euros from the zeros to the millions. This is a lot of class packed into one podcast. They probably ought to have laws passed, but it's too late to stop the onslaught. Raw blast of compacted, bombastic, five-alarm sass. They're talking AVX, way back to Secret Invasion. They're talking flying up high in the sky, down to the feet on the pavement. They're reading the pages of every single one of the summer events. So other than Bendis, you want to be coming to them when you want the Avengers. They're up inside of your environment with flying iron fists, giant-sized Goliaths, and the tiniest super scientists. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest. EMP, literally MP3 TNT. Young, new, mighty, and secretly. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest. EMP, literally MP3 TNT. Young, new, mighty, and secretly. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest.